If someone told you that attraction could be controlled, not by looks or money, but by psychological pressure points, you'd probably keep watching. That's exactly what this video is about. It's about understanding how the human mind responds to emotional instability, attention withdrawal, and unpredictable validation. These tactics work because they disrupt emotional balance, and the brain confuses that with connection. These are not obvious tricks because they operate below the surface, where instinct kicks in and logic shuts down. If you want to know how attraction actually gets triggered in real life, that's exactly what you're getting. Let's get straight into it. 1. Stare through them, then look away like they're boring. Eye contact usually builds connection, but there's a specific way to use it that triggers something deeper: need. When you hold a gaze just long enough to make the other person feel seen, then instantly shift your attention away like they don't matter, it creates a sharp emotional drop. They don't register it as rejection consciously, but the emotional system does. You made them feel like the center of your focus, then took it away without warning. The brain doesn't just forget that, it searches for it again. This works because most people are used to a predictable level of interest from others. They can usually tell who wants them and who doesn't. But when you break that pattern by staring with intensity and then pulling your interest away, you put them in unfamiliar territory. It's not dislike, it's not admiration, it's ambiguity, and the brain doesn't know how to file that away. So, it keeps looping back, trying to finish the emotional circuit you disrupted. That unresolved attention triggers a subtle craving. They'll replay your interaction in their head more than they expected. They'll wonder if you liked them. They'll want you to look again. It's not about seduction, it's about control. Once they associate your attention with emotional whiplash, they start chasing it automatically. 2. Copy their vibe, then subtly mock it. People love seeing themselves reflected. It's how they feel seen, understood, and accepted. So when you mimic someone's tone, posture, or way of speaking, just enough to feel familiar, you earn unconscious trust. But if you then shift slightly into a mock version of that same behavior, it creates a psychological disruption. Suddenly, what felt like validation now feels like exposure. This is more powerful than it sounds. It doesn't just confuse them, it destabilizes their self-image. They start to question how they're coming across. They wonder if they're being ridiculous, if you saw something about them that others have missed. That self-doubt doesn't feel good, but it's compelling. And when the source of that emotional confusion is you, they unconsciously link you to emotional intensity. That intensity is sticky. It keeps their attention locked on you, not because you made them feel safe, but because you interrupted their internal stability. They want to repair the image you may have cracked. They want to be seen in a better light by you. And that quiet desperation is often misread, even by them, as attraction. 3. Reward and reject, back to back. One of the fastest ways to make someone obsessed with you is to give them exactly what they want, and then immediately take it away. This isn't about being hot and cold. It's about engineering a moment where they feel emotionally fed, followed by a sudden withdrawal that hits harder because of what came right before it. You compliment them, then ignore them for the rest of the night. You laugh with them, then disappear mid-conversation. You show warmth, then switch off completely. This unpredictability triggers something primitive. The emotional brain starts scanning for patterns, trying to make sense of the shift. That constant confusion keeps them hooked because the mind treats unpredictability like danger, and anything that feels like a threat commands attention. What most people don't realize is that obsession rarely comes from comfort. It comes from friction, from unstable highs and lows. When you're the source of both reward and rejection, you start to control their emotional thermostat. That's how you become unforgettable, by being both the trigger and the relief. 4. Stay silent when they expect validation. People are conditioned to get social reassurance, especially when they make themselves vulnerable. A joke, a story, a compliment, they're fishing for a response. When you withhold that expected validation, especially in moments where they clearly seek it, you break an invisible contract. That break creates a void they can't ignore. It's not about being rude, it's about controlling your response. Instead of giving them the nod, the laugh, the me too they expect, you stay still. Not cold, just unreadable. That silence doesn't go unnoticed. It throws them off balance. They start trying harder to get a reaction from you. They repeat themselves, over-explain, escalate their energy, all of it to fill the space you left. And the more they try, the more emotionally invested they become. It feels like they're trying to impress you, but psychologically, they're trying to regain control. When your approval becomes uncertain, they start to chase it. And they rarely realize they're doing it. 5. Make them laugh, then disarm them with dead seriousness. Humor makes people open. It drops defenses and creates fast emotional closeness. But when you follow that laughter with a sharp, serious shift in tone, it does something strange. It stuns the nervous system. That shift feels like emotional whiplash, and the brain locks onto the source of that jolt. That's you. This kind of tactic creates a fast cycle of emotional contrast. You make them feel light and safe, and then suddenly intense and unsure. That change in energy, when timed well, doesn't make them pull away. It makes them alert. It makes them study you. And the fact that you can move between extremes so effortlessly makes you harder to read, which makes you harder to forget. Their brain doesn't interpret this as manipulation. It interprets it as chemistry. Because when someone makes us feel a range of emotions quickly, we label that person as important. That emotional imprint creates obsession, especially when they feel like they didn't see the shift coming. 6. Mirror their dreams, then doubt their reality. When someone tells you what they want out of life, whether it's their dream job, relationship, or purpose, they're revealing a sacred part of themselves. If you show them that you relate, that you see it the same way, they open up. They feel like you get it. That's the first half. But the power comes when you subtly question how real their path actually is. You don't attack their dream. You ask quiet questions that plant doubt. Do you think it's possible with how things are now? Or is that something people actually pull off? You don't challenge their values, you challenge their certainty. That puts cracks in their vision. It destabilizes their future just enough to make them lean toward you for emotional grounding. Now, you're not just someone who understood their dream. You've become the person who made them rethink how they're going to reach it. That positions you as both the one who gets them and the one who holds the missing piece. That's not validation. That's psychological entanglement. 7. Leave without warning at their emotional peak. Most people think closure is what gives power. It's not. It's interruption. When you create a strong emotional connection, through laughter, vulnerability, or tension, and then leave with no warning, you freeze that emotion in place. You don't let it resolve. You leave the moment wide open. Their body was ready for more. Their mind had follow-up questions. Their emotions were building momentum. Then you were gone. That drop doesn't fade. It loops. They keep replaying the last moment, wondering what it meant, wishing they had done something differently, thinking about what they'll say next time. This is the same mechanism that keeps people hooked on unfinished stories, broken relationships, and cliffhangers. The brain craves completion, and when it doesn't get it, it becomes obsessive. By leaving them mid-high, you don't just exit the moment, you become the moment they can't stop thinking about. Attraction isn't always built through kindness or logic. It's often triggered by tension, confusion, and unresolved emotion. These tactics don't rely on charm. They rely on breaking patterns people don't even know they have. That's what makes them powerful and dangerous. Use them carefully, or don't use them at all. But now you know how they work. If you have made it this far, comment down below with the word 100% to confirm that you have received the knowledge from this video. For more interesting topics, make sure you watch the recommended video that you see on the screen right now. Thanks for watching.